Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we have been working for a while now on getting our recovery done. We've also been working on getting all of these habitats started. So that's going to be a long-term project, and we're not going to complete that before the end of this series, probably. But we definitely do want to get a colonization going out here, so let's get started on that. And did we order this construction ship to do anything in Spica? No, we did not. Okay. So we're definitely going to want to order construction of a bunch of orbitals. So a minor here. This will be a major out over this way. We would do a major out here and then a major here. We would normally do a major over this, but there's a Dyson Swarm there, so that's not an option at all. We'll do a major orbital here and then a major orbital here. Okay, so that looks good for now. Now we're working on replenishing these fleets, but the primary lack is minor artifacts. I want to check in on the cooldown on our Triumph. Okay, about a year at this point. That seems good. So let's boost this up to fastest speed. And note how our deficit of consumer goods is now only at -60. Our exotic gas deficit is actually almost more of a problem at this point. So that is certainly noted. We're going to be working on that for a little bit, though. Okay, this mining world here requires housing. We can expand out our mining district, so that seems fine for the moment. No problem there. I'd love to upgrade our strategic coordination center. This is not the time. Definitely not. We're going to be continuing to reinforce the tidal wave here, and of course, we're lacking minor artifacts for that, but this is another cruiser on the way in. So this is at least 3 of the 4 cruisers. Noted. Our council agenda is ready, and let's go ahead and fire that off. Excellent. And now I'd like to be on, ideally, military buildup, but that does not appear to be an option. We could go with impenetrable border, which is actually interesting because we know that the Urzuku regulators are getting pretty close down here. Now, I'm not sure if there's ever going to be a situation where we do a status quo peace. We might. Apparently everybody's voting yes for a status quo peace with the Urzuku regulators. This is the Urzuku, right? No, this is the Neberetian arbitrators. Okay, this is the Urzuku regulators. That's good. That's very good for us. Beautiful. So that is absolutely phenomenal, in fact. The tidal wave is very, very close at this point to being completed. The question is, do we need one more cruiser or do we just need the battleship? And we'll find out on this next month tick. So that seems absolutely wonderful. That looks like that's a cruiser. Yeah, okay. So now we need the battleship, and for that we need 53. So that's going to be what, 2 months? Yeah, 2 months. Beautiful. So that seems absolutely fine for now. Our great leader has died. We're going to plan a grand parade, a worthy send-off indeed. So now, of course, we need a head of research, and that could be research speed industry, research speed of particles as well. Or we could just recruit someone in for it. And that's probably going to end up being the best thing to do. Docked ship upkeep and army upkeep is interesting. We're going to have to recruit somebody any way we slice it. I'm going to go with this guy, and he is not exactly where we want him to be. But we'll grab, like, a particle speed increase for research. It's fine, I guess. But hey, our deficit of consumer goods is down to 52 now. So that's looking solid. I want to check in on, like, Radar Central here and see how the recovery is going. Actually, this is solid. We're up to 16% devastation. That is not bad at all. I like it. But note how we have 54 available building slots here. So there's that. Or rather, 54 available jobs here. And 47 building slots right now, but that is going to be a lot better once this devastation goes away. So I think this should match up reasonably well. We'll see. Okay, so 53 consumer goods. That's fairly acceptable. I don't mind that too much. So the ISS Clever Clam is not doing anything here, and that is because its leader died. I want to put this guy in here, and we want to tell him to simply investigate anomalies. There we go. So that'll be fine, and we do know that we're going to have a bunch of these Habitat Central complexes finishing up fairly soon. That's fine. It's definitely... We're gaining influence right now, so that is noted. Let's get this battleship building for the tidal wave, and that is the tidal wave now complete. So next up would be the deluge, which we can definitely start reinforcing some corvettes for, but that's going to be slow going. Okay, so I'm noticing that our consumer goods deficit is increasing right now. That probably has to do with pop growth in some not ideal locations. That said, we could simply move some pops to a factory world, such as this one. We have 5 available jobs here. One of them is an artisan job. Mostly it's clerk jobs, but, I mean, we're going to need some housing here eventually. So that seems relatively fine for the moment. The Udkavango Devourers insulted us. Very rude of them. Okay, so we finished constructing an orbital. That's fine. I'm just checking our orbital docks here. They all seem okay. So that looks good. Cool. So that's going to be a Habitat Central complex, and this is going to be a Habitat Central complex. Both of those are going to be finishing up relatively soon. We're full on food. Let's sell off some food. Yes, I'm absolutely tanking the price of food right now. How are we doing on the price of alloys? Actually, it's super cheap. I'm going to buy some. So we're up to 17k, and that means that we can start the upgrade on our Strategic Coordination Center. That's phenomenal. I'm very glad about that. So let's get going on that one. Excellent. So we're definitely seeing solid recovery. The main problem right now is that we need to get like a factory world like this one, where we've got 46 available jobs. 3 of those are artisan jobs. So we could definitely bring some like clerks over here. 1, 2, 3 of them like that. And they became, I think, technicians, but let's check in here. Yeah, they became technicians. I want to prioritize artisans, so we'll do something like this. Unfortunately, they were worker pops. So we could bring in 2 more specialist level pops, which would be like these guys. These are already artisans. I'm going to bring these enforcers over. Okay, so that should have been... What world was that? This one. Yeah, that'll boost us up to 18 artisans here. Perfect. So that should increase our output a fair amount. Approximate jobs production of 31. That might put us positive, actually. That should put us positive. So let's see if that happens. And of course, this guy, our current Elder Speaker, needs a ship build speed. It's not a cost reduction, which I would have preferred, but it's fine, I guess. We should definitely gain a physics insight and an astral boost here. There we go. And how long now? Okay, only 50 days. Beautiful. So it didn't quite bring us positive, looks like. We're at -7 consumer goods. Okay, we can do something about that, though. So I want to come over here to Targon Prime, where we have 41 open artisan jobs. Okay, that's a lot of artisan jobs. Let's move over a single enforcer for now. And I'm also going to move a metallurgist. Something like that. So these guys, we want them to prioritize artisan jobs. This will mean that this is absolutely, and we're still at 28% devastation here, so that's understood. This will mean that we're absolutely positive in our consumer goods at this point. So that should be phenomenal. On this month tick, the only thing we're going to be negative on is exotic gases. Now, we're just moving pops around right now. And yeah, you can see here, absolutely positive on consumer goods. I love it. So that looks phenomenal. It'll still be a very long time until we need to do significant building because we built so much during the storm. So that is understood. But we are very soon going to have some more of these habitats coming online, which will be good. We're very happy about that. Okay, so exotic gases is definitely something I want to do something about, and we'll get there. Refinery stations are absolutely fine, but I want to activate the rubricator right now. Then we're going to go into Astral Actions, and we're going to do Lateral Artifacting, which will allow us to activate a second relic, which we're going to do, and then we're going to do the Omni Codex, which will spawn pops from an extinct species on one of our planets. So you can see 1201 right now. And where do we want to do this? This is going to be 3 pops. Okay, we've got a Freery Ebenar. Where are we in here? Isaac Prime. I'm wondering where we want to put these. It probably doesn't matter that much. So here's Isaac Prime. That's a generator world. Okay. Where is a Freery? That's a refinery world. I want them there. Okay, so that's perfect. That now means that we have 2 unemployed people. And we've got this ancient refinery on here already. So I want to put in an exotic gas refinery. This is going to consume some of our minerals. We make lots and lots of minerals. And we can put in 2 exotic gas refineries here. This is a building slot for a single job. This is not very jobs efficient, right? But that's fine for the moment. That is going to produce about 8... Yeah, that'll produce about 8 exotic gases. So that won't quite bring us positive, but it should get us pretty close. So that seems wonderful, and those guys might migrate as well, which would not necessarily be ideal. We do have a habitat complex that just finished, so that is here in Targon. Noted. We definitely do want to go colonize this, so we'll send out these bugs to go colonize it. And then I want to get our other orbitals built here. So we're going to need a major orbital out this direction. No orbital here needed. This will be a major orbital. This will be a major orbital. This would be a major. And then down here we would put in a minor. And can we build one here? No, because of the orbital ring. That's fine. Okay, looks wonderful. So that's absolutely fine. We have Vestalis already done. So after we're done with that, eventually we're going to have to like Ceridon and just be branching out from here, right? That's the way that this is intended to go. So that all seems fine. And of course, we do currently have 700 minor artifacts, which we should be putting into the deluge.
Handshake protocols activated.
So we'll go ahead and reinforce that with roughly 1 trillion corvettes. That'll be fine. And an embassy? Yes, we accept an embassy. That is absolutely fine. Are we still building that battleship? No, it must be on its way to the tidal wave, though. Okay, so that will be wonderful. And eventually, interesting. They're being pushed back over here, the Urzuku regulators. These guys have actually pushed out over here. These fleets aren't terribly strong. I'm not sure where the fleets that were here went. Here's one of them. Okay, so the galaxy is starting to actually fight the Urzuku regulators a little bit. Interesting. That's a good thing for us. That's very, very good. That means that hopefully we don't have to. That would be the ideal scenario for us. We would prefer not to do that. So that's absolutely fine for now. And we could actually get another Titan. What is our current fleet cap going to look like? Okay, yeah, we don't want another Titan just yet. So that is fine for now. Now, in Euchromia, we're going to be getting a Habitat Central Complex very, very soon. So that will be great. And how much of the artifacts did we actually burn there?
Handshake
Pretty much all
activated.
of them. Okay. Wow, this is a terrible deal for us. No, we're not going to do that. That is one of the worst deals I've ever seen. Okay. Amazing. So, alloys are currently quite cheap, and we could buy in a few of them for sure. Something like that. Bringing us up to 9.7k. That seems absolutely wonderful, and we can use some of that to reinforce our fleets here, but of course, our primary lack here is not alloys, it's minor artifacts. We did just finish up in Euchromia, so I do want to start constructing some of these megastructures here. We can't build it over this because that's where the science nexus is. Right. Okay, so a minor orbital here, and then a major here, and then we'd come out to Euchromia 7 out here. Major orbital there. We could build a major orbital around the star, And then we have this one here. There we go. Then we have a moon here, and then Euchromia itself, which we can't build around. But we can build a major orbital here and a minor here. Okay, so it should be something along the lines of that. The ISS Clever Clam has apparently finished. Okay, that's fine. So at this point, go ahead and do all of the things except special projects and astral rifts. Just go do stuff. Go have fun. Fantastic. So the tidal wave is now maxed out. Wonderful. And the Deluge fleet, it's being worked on. It's probably... That's still a Corvette? Okay, we're very close to getting the Corvettes completed. And keep in mind, the Corvettes are the bulk of our fleet power. So that is absolutely understood. Now, we're going to run out of exotic gases eventually. Have we... Okay, it looks like that pop migrated without actually filling this job. That's not necessarily ideal. Yeah, that's definitely not necessarily ideal. Okay. I was going to see if we could put in another fractal seed here. We can't. That's a little sad, but it is what it is. It's fine. We're probably finally out of those. Or we already fractal seeded that. I think we had a limited number of fractal seeds, if I remember correctly. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it in there, so presumably we had a limited number of fractal seeds. So that is absolutely fine, and again, we don't expect to see any major job changes for a while. You can see here our population is going up quite quickly. We're up to 1215 now, so that's definitely a very, very good thing for us. We have a lot of open jobs right now. And we're just welcoming anyone with open arms at this point. No doubt about that. So we have these colonies being worked on, and that will help us a lot as well.
Construction complete.
Cool. So we just worked on the Valis starbase out here. We probably don't need to take this up to a citadel. In fact, we definitely don't need to take that up to a citadel. For now, this is absolutely fine. So checking in down over here. Yeah, they're definitely fighting the Urzuku regulators now, and it's unclear who's winning. It feels like the Urzuku regulators have been caught a little bit off guard by the attacks on multiple fronts here and are just not in a position to be able to defend against this amount of ships. Seems fine. I don't think there's a problem here. We will, of course, continue to reinforce the Deluge fleet. And this is now making destroyers. Okay, beautiful. So we're making good progress on the Deluge fleet, but of course, that's primarily due to the Rubricator, and that's fine. I mean, at this point, I'm not very concerned about what's going on militarily. I was pretty concerned up until this counter push started out over this way. We'll see how this plays out, but for the time being, this looks good. Beautiful. So checking through our buildings here, there's not much to be done, and again, that's deeply, deeply unsurprising. Pops have arrived on Siagawa Prime. Apparently that was only one pop because we're at 1216 now, so that's noted. We are about to finish up our first habitat colonization, which is, of course, a pretty big deal for us. I kind of want to get another pair of construction ships going here, because I'm looking at our influence going up, and I mean, to be clear, we are currently running a will to power, right? So that's something we could turn off, but I don't want to. I want to continue to utilize this as quickly as we can. So 2 more construction ships, let's get them going, and we'll just feel out where we're going to be at for constructing habitats.
New frontiers established.
Okay, so that's Radar Central set up there. We can come in here, and immediately we know that we can put in a gene clinic. And do we want to put in a habitation district? To be honest, no. Habitation districts are kind of mediocre, in my opinion. So we need to decide what we want this station to be. It's currently set up as a generator station, and are we still constructing here? We are. So I think we'll come back to that after we've gotten all this construction good to go.
System survey complete.
That seems fine. So, we now have the Water Nymph 3 ready to head out to Ceridon. And I'd like to come out over here and build... We can't build in orbit of that, I guess? We can't build in orbit of the asteroid, so we're going to have to put the Habitat Central Complex over the star. That's not the end of the world. Okay, so now you can come out to Ojlars, and here I'd like to put in an orbital, or rather a Habitat Central Complex around here or so. That'll be fine. And you can see that dropped us down to 312 influence, so that's definitely better. Each of these is costing, I think, 150 to build, but it takes a while.
Research complete.
Because we then have to build all the orbitals as well. There's our advanced shield hardeners done, and that's a big deal. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to make sure there's nothing building at the Slurpactin station, which there isn't. And then I want to come in to our ship designer, and I want to turn on hardeners for, well, rank 2 hardeners for anything that has a rank 1 hardener. So that is going to boost us up to 25% shield hardening, which is magnificent. So that's going to add quite a lot of toughness to our designs, right? So that's our cruisers there. Next up would be the battleship. There we go. And then we can do the Titan, which actually auto-upgraded. And then we've got the Fire Coral class defense platforms, which should be swapped over eventually, although that's a low priority. And there's also this Juggernaut here, which is hilarious. It's kind of alternating between the pulse armor and the suspension field, which actually gives it a crazy amount of shield hardening, now that I look at it. Interesting. So if we spammed in a bunch of these guys, like that, that should be a ridiculous amount of shield hardening. Shield hardening doesn't show up over here, but that's kind of insane. However, you'll note that the armor quantity is quite low. If they get through the shields, problems ensue at that point with that design. And with this design, you can see the armor's a little higher than the shields, but either way, they're going to have a hard time. So it's definitely an interesting option, no doubt about that, but I don't think that that's super necessary. But let's just take all of these guys back to from terminal egress back to their core station, and let's just get all of that upgrading. Beautiful. So that's absolutely fine for the moment. And we can see that, actually, Radar Central Prime is currently lacking a job and an amenity, while the Gene Clinics is going to solve both of those problems. So that is fine for now. Ebenar Prime needs housing. Now, this is set up as a mining world, and that's fine. We can definitely put in a mining district there. That is one of the locations that was not affected by the storm. Offense has been taken, huh? Okay.
Research complete.
We'll recall. That's fine. So we've got Escaminza Prime. This is a forge world, and I would love to put in an industrial district there. That seems okay. Habitability modification, huh? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and put in, like, vocational genomics. That will be fine. Wonderful. And we've got some good progress going on there, so that seems great. So all of our ships are back at Radar Central for retrofitting, and that should be beginning shortly. There we go. We can definitely see that happening. Shouldn't take too long. We should pretty much have the resources on hand to do that. I'm just looking to see if these numbers end up changing on us. So far, they haven't. Interesting.
Ships upgraded.
Okay, yeah, this didn't change the numbers. It seems like it doesn't really calculate hardening correctly for, like, calculating the fleet power and things like that. So
Ships
that's
upgraded.
A little awkward, for sure.
Ships upgraded.
No doubt about that. But we're basically upgraded. We can leave our fleets here at Radar Central where they'll be a little bit cheaper. I'm not too concerned about that. So we'll just leave them here for now, and that seems wonderful. We've got 227 minor artifacts for the moment, so let's finish up at least some of these destroyers. Yeah, so that's about 20% of the destroyers that we need overall, but that's fine. So we'll get that going for now. And checking in down over this way, how are things looking? It looks like the push here is stalled out. There's this battle down over here, which is very awkward. Yeah, very awkward indeed. Okay, well, that's fine for now. So we've got a bunch more orbitals going in, of course, and we'll see if 6 construction ships is correct. The associated Buvondan sons have been destroyed by their enemies. Okay, and it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode we will continue to expand out our stations out over here, as well as getting all of our fleets upgraded and continuing to rebuild our fleet. Our economy is in a pretty good state, with the only exception being the exotic gases, and that's not too bad at this point. So I think we're in a pretty good spot at this point. Beautiful. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.